so well.
Keep on smiling in my timing.
G'day and welcome back to another episode of Discovercars. It's 2019 and that Cayenne video is going off. It got over 10,000 views, which is insane. Thank you so much for all subscribing as well. If you're new to the channel, my name's Cameron. This is Discovercars. This here is the Porsche Macan GTS, and I've given you 3 reasons why you should consider buying the Porsche Macan GTS. Three things that I think the Porsche Macan GTS makes a convincing case to buy includes 1, the design, 2, the engine, and 3, the drivability and performance of it. Talking about design, the Macan launched around in early 2015. This was Porsche's first small SUV, and to be honest, they nailed the looks. You're looking at those blacked out wheels, blacked out trim, smaller and tighter front grille, which looks more aggressive. You have quad black tipped exhaust out the back, and you have a nasty exhaust note, which sounds amazing. So it's not just the back of the GTS that makes it look like a GTS. The front is also very much GTS, which is pretty much Porsche for super aggressive. This looks like it'll just come up and punch you in the face and not even care and just drive off down the road. Just combine the lights with this really sharp front grille. The other Macans, if you're comparing it, put it side by side, the other Macans have a bit taller grille, where this just puts the nose down, it's a little bit sharper, looking like a shark mouth almost. But they also have active aero slats in there that open up, allowing for a little bit more air to come through to the engine. This is the interior of the Macan GTS. It is not lacking on quality at all. You have the great PDK shifter in the middle, as seen through all Porsche sports cars. You've also got this great steering wheel, which feels nice and tight to use and accurate. Sitting position is part of the design here, where they put the seats nice and low, and it makes you feel like you're sitting in the car rather than on it, which is key to having a good sports car feel. You also have a sports chrono clock up there, which is designed for, you know, lap times and quicker launch to 100. You've also got a great amount of buttons, plenty to do. As much climate control as you need. You'll feel like the weatherman. At 18-way seats, great for adapting. Same story in the back, very comfortable to sit in the back, doesn't feel claustrophobic. People can get overwhelmed by all these buttons here, but from about just after the shifter is all driving controls, from above is climate, so pretty much you'll be using these buttons here. Here is the 3-litre V6 that you'd also find in the Macan S. However, this one has a more aggressive tune, and as we're about to hear, they definitely let you know it does have the power as well. So you join me inside the Porsche Macan GTS, and this is my 3rd reason as to why you should think about buying it. So my 3 reasons were: first, design; second, the engine; and of course that sweet exhaust sound; and the 3rd being the drive. So right now I'm in normal mode. Normal mode just means none of the sports modes are turned on, and that just leaves me to be very relaxed, and the revs are low and gears change quickly. As you can hear, pretty quiet. It doesn't really show off what the Macan GTS is capable of, nor why you would buy it. I've got a couple buttons down here, as I was explaining earlier on the interior. These are my driving buttons. So right here, I have Sport, and when I press that, drops down a gear, gets a bit louder, puts the active exhaust on, opens those valves, and stiffens up the suspension by a little bit. So when I go into Sports Plus, it then holds gears for longer, but it really comes in, just a little bit, squeeze the throttle and you just get that little bit of extra feedback. I just love the little whomp you get when you just, those little pops. It's not really like a snap, it's just more of just that upshift pop and crackle. It just sounds incredible. But it's the driving feel, not just the position. The brakes, the acceleration, the endless torque that you feel from it, like the lack of turbo lag. There is no turbo lag I can feel in this car at all. It doesn't feel like you step your foot down and it goes 1, 2, and then goes. This car is instant. It's ready to go anytime you want it to. It's like, when are we going? When are we going? When are we going? And when you put it into sports mode, it's like a rabid dog just wanting to know when it's going for a walk, rather than a little puppy just looking at you going, oh, can we go please? It's not asking you, it's telling you it needs to move once you put it in Sports Plus. Now it's time to give it a Discovercars score. So that's been the Macan GTS. It's one of my favorite cars. I mean, it uses the power it's got really well. The setup is fantastic. You sit in it, it's just a really exciting car to be in. This is pretty much the best all-rounder Porsche you can buy for the money. So I'm going to give it a Discovercars score right now. So the Discovercars score is something I use with Hunter and Bly. I write articles for them, and it's where I post more of my thoughts and all that. This is honestly where you want to see a bit longer than a 6-minute video. Go check it out. I'll post it on Instagram at Discovercars and Facebook at Discovercars if you want to check out more of my thoughts on the Macan GTS. But for now, so if we're doing performance, it's got a 3-litre V6 with about 260 kilowatts and 0 to 105.2 seconds. It uses a form of anti-lags, what people like to call it, but essentially the turbos are always spinning no matter what revs you're at, as long as the engine's on. That's why performance, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Practicality, it's a small SUV. It compares to the Q5 in that sort of size. Great for about 3 adults if you're carrying all this stuff with them, but once you reach about 4, you're really pushing it. If you're a young family with about 2 kids, it's great, but anything more than that, you might want to be looking to a Cayenne. Again, that gets an 8 out of 10. On the daily score, it does score a 7 out of 10 for that one. Only because, I mean, it's a great daily. That's why it's the best all-round Porsche. You got the space, and then you can go blast canyon roads, but then you can also do the school pickup and everything like that. But he's a little bit thirsty, but it does make up for that. And the driving experience and also the fact that it is a bit practical. Daily score will be a 7 out of 10. That leads me on to the cool factor. Now, cool factor is very subjective at this stage. Some people hate SUVs. I personally think they're a really cool segment when they're done right. The GTS just makes it a whole lot more exciting to step into a Macan. I can go on and on about how cool it looks, and arguably I'd find it hard to argue that this is not a cool car. Cool factor for me is a 9 out of 10. That gives me a total score of 8 out of 10. Just a flat 8, and I tell you what, that's a really strong score for Discovercars, and it definitely gets my recommendation if you are considering this car in the Macan range. Like I said, I post every Friday. Thank you so much for subscribing. I've seen all of you jump on, and I've been really excited to get a video out. This has been the first opportunity. I'm roasting out here, but I'm loving it. I'm with the Macan GTS, and next week should have something even cooler. I've got heaps of stuff planned with Hunter and Bly. They're a great partner. Do check them out. We're doing some really cool stuff for 2019, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for commenting, liking, and everything like that. It really makes my day, and it's made my holidays, so thank you for that, and we're looking really forward to a really strong 2019. My name's Cameron. I'm with Discovercars. This has been the Macan GTS. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.